Everyone. I'm Dr. Judy Ann Kellaway. I'm the Associate Dean for Admissions and Outreach here at the Long School of Medicine. And I am back with you today with number 2 in a series. This is the White Coat Notes series, and we're planning on 10, could be more. But this one is about getting organized. Get organized. Dr. K's Shoebox Way. I've been talking about the shoebox for not years, but decades. And getting organized is a superpower. So you need to know all this information. I hope you will get a lot out of it. So let's get started. All right, there we go. So you know that this process takes a lot. There is just a lot involved. You know you've got a list, and as you listen to people, you might have other things that you need to add to your list, but you know there is just a ton to do. And this is what it feels like. So much, right? So much to do in this journey. And if you'll remember in the first re- video, White Coat Notes number 1 on doctoring, where do I even start? We talked about um, the amount of work you need to do if this is high school and this is college. Think of all the things that you're doing now. Medical school is like this. It's like, it's a lot. It's a whole lot. And we know that. And so we talked about in number 1, we talked about you need to learn how to learn. You need to continue that as you go up in the levels. You will always need that as your basic and fundamental thing that you need to be doing. But you need to organize that stuff. Okay. There's the shoe box. I'm going to tell you, you're going to get a shoe. I used to talk about this um, in terms of putting everything in a file, in a folder, in a shoebox, somewhere where everything related to your application is in one place, one physical place. But now I would say let's modernize it. And for years, I've been saying let's modernize it and make a folder on your desktop. So that's where you're going to start. Okay. Make a folder on your desktop and you can label it My Journey to Medical School, My Shoebox. You can name it whatever you want, but everything related to your journey to medical school goes in that shoebox. Why do you need to be organized? So picture a pile of silverware. Do you want your path and all the things that you are doing to be just scrambled up there in a pile? No, you want them in neat categories in the drawer, in the proper place in the drawer. So let me help you with that, okay? Um, you need to get organized. The purpose, other purposes for doing it this way um, is that you get to keep track all along the way. You won't leave things out. The application as it stands right now in TMDSAS, I haven't counted AMCAS, but it's going to be very similar. The application right now has over 250 questions. Some are going to be very easy and you can answer them very quickly, like your name and your zip code and your address. Yes, but some are going to be long, and it's going to generate a document that is 25 pages in length or more. Okay. And people think you're going to open up the application and just start filling it out. Well, it's not like that. And you'll see that in one of the white coat notes also, where we dig into some details about the actual application. But when you have it all in one place in your shoebox, you will see everything there. You won't leave things out. You're doing it kind of in real time and adding things along the way. It's all collected there in one place. You can get an overview. You can say, "Oh, look at all this I have in this category, and look what I have in that category. And this really goes in 2 categories. So maybe I want to put this thing over here in this category." You see? So you get this overview. You are reflecting and organizing and reorganizing all along the way. And this is one place where you can go to do that fun homework of, um, of reflecting and getting organized and setting your goals and all the things. We're going to talk about all the details. And you'll be ready. Do you know? Do not count doing the activities. Activities in action do not count, but it takes people up to 2 and 3 months to complete the application after you've done the activities and you're just filling things in. So this way, when you start as early as possible, you will be ready on May 1 when the application opens. It's not going to take you 3 months. It's going to take you 2 or 3 weeks because you will be ready and have it all organized in your shoebox and ready to go. What else? We did that. You've got a folder on your laptop. Your resume is really not the best place to begin. Okay. I hope you're keeping something in a different format than a resume, because that resume, when I'm reviewing people's information and talking to pre-med, they're like, here's my resume. How does it look? Well, that's not organized like the application is organized. So you should really try to get organized like the application is organized. Okay. So, so what, so I want you to actually, let me back up a sec. I want you to deconstruct your resume. Okay. So you have your resume in a nice Word or PDF format. It looks beautiful. You've got lines or shading where there needs to be some nice looking formatting, and you hand it to somebody, and they'll see your life so far, but it's not going to be the same categories. You're going to get some templates off online and things like that to fill out, and you should really keep that if you need to hand it to somebody for a job or an overview, but that's not how you should be placing your activities. Okay. The format is this beautiful thing, and you need to deconstruct it so you can play with it and remold it and add and change and do things differently. So you'll get it as we go along here. What goes in the shoebox? Well, everything goes in the shoebox. Look at this: calendars and goals and timelines and details and what you want to do next and next steps and the application guides. Maybe you had a good day to get a photo. It goes in there too. Everything, your resources, your resource links, everything goes in the shoebox. Okay. I'm going to break it down for you so you'll understand it. You scan, you upload, you link. Okay. You track everything. Sometimes people ask, should I put that in my application? And I'm like, yeah, like, well, let's see, put it in your shoebox and let's see if it rises to, to be worthy of putting in your application, right? So right now in your shoebox, you can put everything, every single thing. You want to be consistent at this and persistent. And again, the earlier you start, you're going to be so ready. And so when you see the application, you have work, it's all in your shoebox and you just cut and paste. Okay. So you've done all the hard work or the organizing work. So my outline for you is this, and I'm always open to like new ideas. So these are the categories I have for you, and we're going to dig into them in a little bit more detail. But look at that. You've got your to-do list. Every categorization system needs a to-do checklist, and it needs a miscellaneous. I think I don't have miscellaneous here, but there are a couple places you could put miscellaneous or just add your own miscellaneous category. Resources, metrics, and coursework in your personal bio, your personal growth plan, your goals, your calendar items, your timeline of things, your questions, and somebody's answers. The answers, wherever you find them, should be in there. There's a reflection section, inspiration, superpowers, what do schools want, and the med school matrix. Let's see what this is. If you want to walk through this with me in sort of real time and see what we're doing, you can capture your shoebox with this QR code. Okay. And I'm going to show you categories and talk about them in a different way. But you start with the very beginning. Scroll over, open the document. It's a Google shared sheet. It will download eventually as an Excel, and then you can make it your own. So I've got tons of examples and instructions in here for you, but follow along. Snap that QR code. Here we go. Number one, your to-do list. You've got a long to-do list. I have lots of samples in there for you. Everything you need to do, plan ahead. Put it in the shoebox. I've got a few things that I labeled for you that say you must do this now. Do this first thing. So you build really the first thing you're doing is building your shoebox. But look at the sheets, see if you want to add any other tabs or anything like that. Download the TMDSAS application, download the guidebook, download the AMCAS guidebook, all those things. Set up your resources. You're going to need to look and explore and find some resources. So put the ones you want to find. If you haven't gotten to the link yet, get a photo, explore what you're going to do the next semester, what's going to be your fun homework for this weekend. So that to-do list should be the first thing. On that to-do list, you'll also see that I added scan in your transcripts. You'll see why in a moment. Okay, so get all those packaged in one place, and put them in your shoebox. Your resources, I have a lot of links that I've added very recently for you. Added another couple of TED Talks for you that I think are very good information for you, very informational and inspiring, right? But I've got a lot of links for you there to the application guides for both of these systems. If you're going to consider applying in other systems, you need to go find those links elsewhere. MCAT resources, this shoebox link is in there in case you want to share with friends. Handouts, YouTube, TED Talks, all the things. Okay, so these go on your resource page or links to them. You can also make a file. So you've got a file on your desktop, right? So you could label a folder number 2, where you're uploading things that are documents, or you scan in some handouts, and so put those in your resource page if it's more of a Word or PDF kind of format, a flyer that you find that is very good information. So that goes in number 2. Number 3, metrics and coursework. I used to have this as metrics if you've got an old version. It used to be metrics and miscellaneous, but this is where you should maybe list all your coursework too. So for your metric section of your holistic review that admissions teams are going to look at when they see your application, they're going to start with high school, and those are the items that they need from your high school. The high school's name, address, the class size, your rank if they did do ranking in your system, and then your SAT and your ACT scores. Okay, now there are other places to do, if you did wonderful things in high school, if that was where you got inspired by Sister Timothy doing like Drosophila melanogaster studies in the classroom, like I did, there's some great things that happened to us in high school. Those will go in your essay sections maybe, but those are the metric components that need to be there from high school. Do you know that you have to list every course you ever took? Whether it's AP credit, dual credit, those kinds of things are all going to be uploaded in the coursework section. They want 11 pieces of information for every course that you took. Gather that now. Put it in. You'll see that sheet on the Excel labels those columns for you as a skeleton. All of this is kind of like um, categorized for you. So yeah, you're welcome. But look, they want the term, the year, the course, the title, the area of study, the semester hours. The transcript grade is not going to be the same as the TMDSAS and maybe the AMCAS grade. I'm not sure. TMDSAS removes pluses and minuses. It works to your advantage in some cases and maybe a little detriment in other cases, but it all works out. You don't put in pluses and minuses. Except under the transcript grade, and then the academic level, and is this the last time you took this course? Miscellaneous would be pasting your photo on that page so that you've got it, or just make a folder with number 3 on it under your whole big shoebox file. Get it? So you can put those in that separate folder if it's not fit really for the Excel format of the shoebox outline. Next, your personal bio. Okay, big. This is big. If you deleted all the sheets except one and kept one sheet, it would be your personal bio. So this is how you're keeping your log. But are you putting all this information? You'll see many columns. I think it's A through, I don't know. It's about 8 things that they give you room to include on every activity. Okay. So this is where this is where you're putting your resume when you deconstruct it. Okay. So for all of those categories in TMD SAS, honors and awards, academic and non-academic, leadership, research, healthcare, community, it's called community engagement. Okay. But I'm going to keep calling it service because I am missing when we call it community engagement, I kind of miss the serving and sacrifice part. And you're going to live your life as a physician in service to others and with sacrifices to yourself. So I'm going to call it community service for a while. A while longer. And then your extracurricular or leisure section, your work and your planned activity. So those are the 8 ways you can categorize an activity. They want to know the title of the activity, the location, the dates. It's going to ask you hours per week. You'll see these details on that sheet. It's going to ask you the hours per week and the total number of hours. So sometimes people say, Dr. K, I don't know that, I didn't do this weekly. I know the total. So work back from the total and then you can do an approximate calculation. TMDSAS does not calculate this for you. They're asking you to plug in those numbers, which don't always work out that way, but just do your best to make it representative of what you're doing. AMCAS, so TMDSAS has 8 categories. I kind of like that. We give you flexibility about where you want to put things. We don't micromanage you as much, I don't think, as in the AMCAS. AMCAS has 19 different categories, and you're allowed to put 15 activities in those 19 categories. I fear what happens in that kind of system where people are looking for very specific things is it becomes a little check boxy or whatever the term for that is. Fill in this box, fill in that box. The applicant, you have enough to worry about, right? You have enough to get anxious about. So you're going, oh my gosh, here's a category. What have I done in artistic endeavors? And then you worry about filling in the box if that's just not you. You'll find a place to put it in the broader categories in TMDSAS. But just, I would caution you in the AMCAS system, look for the value and the meaning of the things that you're doing always. That's always just a primary thing. And don't worry if you're leaving off a few categories. They're not in your bio. They're not in your bio, so that's fine. So those are the details that they want in that personal biography section. Personal growth plan is uploaded right now. I think the video is called You Are Underestimating the Power of Your Personal Attributes. This is all about growing yourself. Such an important part, such a very important part of your application is your growth, what you've learned, and then giving us the value and the meaning of every single thing that you do. So there is a video, a whole hour, probably more, on the personal growth plan. So take a look at that and find out the details. On this sheet that you see with the shoebox examples, you'll see that somebody's trying to learn Spanish. They're teaching themselves Spanish with a free app on Sunday afternoons at 3, and you log it across just like you're logging your activities on the personal bio page. Okay. You can set some goals. This is where you make a personal growth plan. Ask yourself, is there something I need to work on? Maybe you've heard Amy's story. If not, it's in that other video that I mentioned on this channel. Amy improved her social skills and communication skills by making a plan, a definite plan with goals and sub goals about how she was going to improve her very severe introvertedness, her shyness, and how she became so much better with her personal growth plan. I give her credit, Amy, wherever you are. I hope you're doing good things because this is awesome. It's an awesome thing to share with you. I think it's a very important thing. So learn anything new. Maybe you need to work on some personal attributes, but maybe you just have always wanted to play the violin like Maida. Listen to that story on that video. It's very inspirational. So you can do anything for a personal growth plan. My recent personal growth plans have been to manage my inbox, be better at time management and not let it accumulate to 400 and just set aside time and get it done instead of, and now it's like not so, it was ominous before and now it's like a little more manageable. So So I don't procrastinate and put it off as much. Anyway, make your, and I, anyway, keep up with doing some things for you. Okay. And then, big point to section number 5, personal growth plan. Tell us about it. Lots of people in those stories that you'll hear did not tell us that they were working on things like this. So please do that. You might ask yourself, gosh, you might be thinking of something that you do and ask, gee, I wonder if I should put it in there as I've been doing it. Maybe I should be logging this. If you have a kind of hobby anyway, I talked to a young man recently and he does research. And as he's under the hood doing his research stuff, he's listening and he's listening to a podcast that sounds very interesting. It's just a short podcast each time. And one day he'll learn about, I don't know, geology, rocks, and things. The next day will be about whales and marine life, and the next day it's about the stars. So there's a different topic all the time. I'm like, that is fascinating, and you should keep track of it and write down what you're learning every day, and then tell us about this cool hobby that you have. So if you're thinking of anything like that, that's where you log it under your personal growth plan. Goals, watch, coming up soon. Um, in these white coat note series is superpowers. And being a goal setter is a superpower. Goal setters just do better. So I'll give you some examples and guidance in that video, but this is where you put your goals for your academics, your experiences, your personal attributes, and put down, think ahead, plan ahead. So put these goals in there. The details of that and when you're going to start working on things actually gets embedded in your timeline in your calendar. I think that's a little bit different. You may have a different way already that you want to manage some of these things with your own Outlook calendar or Google calendar, whatever you're using. But the idea is have short-term and long-term goals. Take your long-term goals and break them down into sections. Okay. Put your deadlines, put your timelines, put your courses and other things, okay, in the timeline section. You're gonna love the question and answer section. You write down anytime a question pops into your head, jot it down, make a mental note until you can put it on tab 8. The questions, your questions, and where are you getting the answers? I have some answers for you in all of these videos that I do, but you need to ask your advisors, your mentors, your role models also. What would they do? What would they say in answer to questions? Is this a good activity? What are some numbers I need to aim for, or should I aim for a certain number? Should I do scribing or shadowing? So we'll help you with answers to those things, but now you write them down and keep track of them, okay? So you'll see each different column. You write your questions in one column and then put the answers and the source, put the different sources in subsequent columns. The reflection section. So reflection is a superpower, and I have given you lots of examples of that along the way in some of these videos. So please pay attention to that. One of the most common things that we hear at committee meetings is somebody saying, gosh, everything looked really good in the application, but our conversation was just a little superficial. That means that often that person, that applicant needed to spend some time in reflection. If I said, why do you want to do this? Why do you want to be a doctor? Everybody, you would pipe up and say, I want to help people. And it's legitimate, it's real, it's not trite, but you do have to go deeper. You do have to go deeper than that. So you need to spend some time in a favorite chair, or outside, whatever it is, wherever your favorite place is, to sit and reflect. I have a million prompt questions for you if you can't think of some in sources everywhere. So just look for those, or just sit and ask yourself your own questions. And I think it will help us see the meaning in everything that you're doing. It will help us see the meaning much easier. Much more easily. Okay, 10, inspiration. This is a hard path. Why do you need this tab? You need it because you need to stay focused. You need to stay confident. You need to stay secure in this path that sometimes you feel so insecure in. So, whatever gives you that security and confidence and can turn you around from negative into positive will go here. So you list your friends and your family. I say friends and faith and family give you your fortitude in times when you need it to go forward. So that's why you need this inspiration section. Oh, I was going to show you a picture, but that's okay. I'm going to paint the picture for you. On my path to medical school, it was kind of rough, and I reapplied it a few times, and I had this page ripped out of a magazine, and it was a beautiful blue sky with clouds, and the message, it probably was a car commercial or some kind of advertisement, I don't know, but to me, the message said something special, and the message was things of quality have no fear of time. So I was in a big hurry, right? Like a lot of you are. You get on the pre-med train and you just want to hurry up and get there, and it is crushing when things aren't going as planned. So you need to be lifted up. That message, things of quality have no fear of time. That really spoke to me, and it said, take your time, relax, and sit back. Yeah, you had a setback. Yeah, you got to take physics again. Yeah, you got to take the MCAT again. But do you want to do this? And are you committed for the long term? Yes, you are. So keep going. Um, Now I keep Pinterest boards and Bible sayings and funny videos of like cats falling off the TV into the aquarium and things like that. So anything that will lift you up and make you smile and laugh is going to be a good thing. So I spent some time on that section because I think it's really important for you to see. All right, superpowers. Watch for these. They are coming. Superpowers are organization. You're welcome. It's right here. A superpower. Discipline is another one. I can get you organized, but I can't. So I can help you lay out the plan and organize all of those things in the silverware drawer, but you have to do them. Okay. And starting with academics, if you need to study harder, if you need to go talk to the professors, if you need more resources, I can't do that for you. I can't get up early or stay late when you need to study some more for the test that's coming up, that kind of thing. So you need to be a person of discipline. So a lot of us need to grow that in many areas. Maybe you're already disciplined. That's awesome. And maybe some of you need to dust it off or unfold it so that it really is a superpower for you. Reflection, I've already mentioned. Um, Goals, I already mentioned. Also, you'll find some stories and some studies. Actually, we take sometimes a scientific look at some of these things and why I call them superpowers for you. Stress management is interesting and a different take on what stress can do for us. Being positive and being confident are all superpowers. And I know you don't know that you have them all the time, which might be why you need to work on them anyway. So I give you some ideas in that presentation, which is coming soon. Your next tab is what do medical schools want? For somebody, for some school, no research could be the deal breaker. Okay, so you'll have to decide if there are lots of other good things about that school and it's at the top of your list for other reasons. This gets into the check boxy arena. I wouldn't want you to do anything to check it off a box. But if you want to put your toe into into some research experience to see what it is like, you might enjoy it. When you make those commitments, though, I would say if you're not enjoying things, fulfill your responsibility and step out at an appropriate time. If it's just going to be a checkbox for you, just don't even do it. But anyway, this is the place where you say, this school needs a certain number of minimum hours. This is when you're out at career fairs, going from table to table to table. This is where you put that information. So there it is for you when you're making your decisions later on. And then the last tab we will talk about is what do you want? The last tab was what do the medical schools want? And now this one is what do what do you want? So here, a medical student actually on their way to medical school created this, and I have shared it for years. Created by a medical student when he was looking at various schools and interviewing at various schools to make his decisions. So there are actually lots of things on the first column, and then you can use each subsequent column to put in information about the particular medical school. What is the environment like? What's the city? What's the vibe like when you visit the school or visit with students from the school? Does it have special features? Does it have special programs? Does it offer special dual degree programs that you might want to be that you might be interested in? So you might have that information maybe more towards your interview portion of your journey to medical school, but maybe not. You know, if you're at a career fair, I think this is also a place where you can put some of the things you learn about right there. So I'm going to stop now. The next section of this getting organized is to talk a little bit about all of the pieces in your personal biography. We're going to focus a little bit on those very important activities. Very important piece, right, of holistic review. Holistic review is metrics, your experiences, and your personal attributes, metrics to show and grow this strong, grow academic strength so that you know and we know that you can tackle very difficult science in medical school. Your experiences that you're reaching out to learn about yourself and people in the world and the world of medicine. Which grow in you these beautiful attributes that are going to make you a very special and excellent physician in the future. So that's holistic review. So in the next part 2 of this, we will talk about the personal biography and dig into some details there. So I enjoyed being with you. Look, not an hour and a half. And if you play me at double speed, you'll get through this pretty quickly. So I hope you enjoy the shoebox. I hope you get some things out of it, make it your own, you know, download it, delete my stuff and put yours in. Anyway, hope it helped, and I will look forward to the next time we're together. Awesome. Take care. Keep doing good things. Keep doing good things. Bye.